Hey tribe, Dawna here from Transformational Healing, and welcome to our Sunday spiritual check-in. Today we are going to talk about some of the upcoming things for this week. We have a huge Earth Week challenge coming up, and um, Beltane orders need to get in so that we can get them out to you on time. I'm seeing some random flickers here, so give me a second to see if there's something I can turn off. Don't see anything. Sorry about the flickering. Don't know what that is. Seeing it out of the corner of my eye, so maybe you guys aren't noticing it all. It could just be my computer. Um, but we're also going to talk about how to get unstuck when you feel like you're just going around, 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 and you're stuck on the merry-go-round of day-to-day life, and spiritual cycles keep coming up for you, that sort of thing. So let me know that you're here. I see that Rachel is here and also locally cultivated. It's awesome to see you guys. So make sure you drop things in the comments and ask questions as we move forward. We also had a question from Rachel actually in the Transformational Healing Tribe Facebook group. I put up a post every Saturday for you guys to ask questions. So sorry if my voice sounds a little bit wonky today and that you see that I have cough drops. Allergy season has hit full bloom, and I totally forgot to take all of my tinctures this morning before I ran out of the house. So instead of coughing, I figured having a cough drop was better than that. Um, so Rachel says, my mind is full of thoughts about spring, watching flowers and trees burst into life and looking for ways to enrich the soil in my planters and pondering about the best plants for pollinators. So normally this isn't something that I would go into on the channel. I know there are tons of great organic gardening things, and I'm actually going to post some great videos that I found onto that. But I know that a lot of our herbs that we do use that are flowers are great for attracting pollinators. So ground ivy that grows naturally, and even things like strawberries, but marigolds and different stuff like that we use are also great pollinators to go through. So some of those early ones that would be up would be bulbs already, um, tulips, daffodils, things like that. But for pest control, to keep away some of the bugs and things like that in our gardens, you would use things like marigolds are one of the biggest ones that's used to keep some of the different animals and things away. But they also attract the bees. So anything that's bright and sunshiny that is a flower, it's the flowers you're looking for to attract those pollinators. Ways to enrich your soil: you can soak your compost and make compost fertilizer out of it, saving the herbs from your tea bags or coffee grounds, adding in some eggshell powder, things along that line can help with that. But I'll post some videos down below um, on the comment in the Facebook group so that you can get the answer to that. She also says that her body is struggling with seasonal shift, so which is totally normal for her. But as much as she loves that everything is happening but it's also increasing her physical pain in her body adjusts to the more physical activity of being outside. And my suggestion to that is to just take it slow. Um, take it, easy when you're working. Be aware of the fact that even though you want to garden, you need to make sure that you're stretching, breathing, doing your yoga, being mindful of how your body feels, being mindful of water. Water is huge. I actually don't have tea today. We're going to talk about what teas we have. I have seltzer. So I filled my cup with seltzer, and it's not quite as good for you as plain water, but I don't like drinking plain water. So, but water with herbs in it, teas, those sorts of things. But totally on a seltzer kick. That's what I drink all summer long. But definitely avoiding sugar. Um, and I can say avoiding caffeine, but I don't avoid caffeine. I just make sure that I make up for it with beverages that don't have sugar in them. So let me know if that helps um, answer that question a little bit. But being mindful of your body, being mindful of, does your body really want to move that way? And adjusting to the time change. Does that mean you need to adjust your sleep schedule? To rearrange the times that you're doing things, that sort of thing, and rearranging your routines to go with the energy of spring. So I hope that that helps a little bit, Rachel. And so that's that question. Um, so this week, and it will start tomorrow, in the Transformational Healing Tribe Facebook group, we have a huge Earth Week challenge every day at 7 a.m. I put up a prompt for you to clean something specific. We focus on a specific part of the house or a specific thing. And we have all kinds of videos about spiritually cleansing, when you're physically cleansing, and why a physically clean house surrounding you is great for your mental, emotional, and spiritual balance, and how it's all interconnected. And we focus on some natural cleaners and things you can do, but it's a challenge. So every day you have to do at least something. If I say it's kitchen day, that does not mean that you have to deep clean your whole entire kitchen. There'll be specific things that I put up, like it'd be great to see a clean sink and maybe something else that you can fit in. And you post a picture of it and say why you chose that project. And then you get a point for the day. And the more days you participate in, the larger the discount is that you earn. And if you're also on the tribe email list, you can earn up to 40% off coupon. That has to be turned in by May 1st. So it's a great way to have fun with your community, to cheer each other on for all the things that we're doing, and to be mindful about cleaning and spring cleaning our space, spiritually cleansing our space, and also earn yourself some awesome discount coupons for right before belting. So Rachel says, I look forward to this challenge all year and I love it. Yep, she always has lots of fun with the challenge. So, and tomorrow, Tuesday morning by 8 o'clock, or tomorrow will be the last day to get your orders in for belting, so that I can make sure that you get things on time. You might be able to order before that. We will ship out again on Friday, but that is cutting it a little close depending on when you're having your Beltane celebration. We are actually not having our Beltane celebration till the 5th through the 6th, so we'd be able to make it then. And I will be switching up our live stream schedule a little bit. We'll be going live from Brushwood on that weekend. So hopefully I might be able to, depending on who's there, have some other people on the live with me. We'll see. That's our goal. So Rachel is saying, especially now that I have started roping the hubby into doing window day for her. So you don't need to do window day yourself. You guys are working together now. That's pretty funny. So I have been having a lot of people that have been coming to me and saying, you know, I've been dealing with this issue, and why is this issue still here? Why am I stuck? This thing just keeps coming back up and back up, and I thought that I dealt with it. And to me, I remember, I even have it happen still now, but I remember when I was a newbie witch, new to spiritual things, that sort of thing, and working on my inner healing. And there were so many times when I thought I had dealt with an issue, recognized it, thought I had dealt with it because I handled it that way at that time a little bit better than the last time. And that does happen, that every time something comes up, it is like layers of an onion skin, and you do have to get to the core of the issue. You have to get to the core of the problem so that you recognize that it comes up, and then, you might not handle it so well, but the next time it comes up, you recognize that same situation faster, you handle it a little better and a little better and a little better, and you're getting to the core of the issue. But sometimes I think that it can be ourselves that are getting ourselves stuck on those issues. Because you can be attached to your story. You can be attached to that thing from your childhood, from growing up, from situations that have been surrounding you, that you've identified yourself. So you identify yourself as that type of person. So you're kind of getting yourself attached to it, and you've created limiting beliefs around that issue. So if you're wondering why certain issues keep coming up and keep coming up in your life, because you keep repeating that story, because you keep unconsciously, subconsciously believing that that is you. You've created this belief that, I'm never going to find a good boyfriend because I'm XYZ. I'm never going to be in a happy relationship because you believe something negative about yourself. So you keep creating these situations in which you can prove yourself to be true. And we have to actually get off that merry-go-round and stop going around in circles by changing that underlying belief. And it's really hard to do sometimes. It's hard to recognize that belief that is putting you on that spiral, that's creating that merry-go-round where you just keep going around and nothing's changing. But until we are able to recognize those subconscious or unconscious beliefs, those limiting beliefs that we have, that we're attached to the story of who we are, that we've created this story about that, we're going to experience a reality that is equal to the story or the belief that we've created for ourselves. So we need to change our story. And working on changing that story takes a lot of work. And to me, other people describe it as other ways. To me, it's shadow work. It's inner child work. It's those sorts of things that people are like, oh, I don't want to do any shadow work. Well, if you're not going to do that deep dive look into yourself to see what belief you're holding that keeps pulling that energy to you to learn that lesson, because you haven't learned that you are a strong, independent person and you don't need XYZ to keep happening, you're going to keep repeating that pattern until you actually learn that lesson, or you can look inside and do that. So just looking for comments over here. I set my camera up a little bit funny today with the computer. Sorry about that. Rachel says, yes, repeating lessons and bad patterns despite knowing better and really wanting to be better. So I'm going to throw Rachel in a hot seat. My cough drop has a honey center, and it's getting stuck in my teeth. All right, so we're going to put Rachel in the hot seat. Rachel is continually eating sugar. She should not be eating sugar. And I know everyone's like, well, nobody should be eating sugar. No. She actually has some sort of a health condition that when she eats sugar and processed foods of different sorts, that it completely and totally flares up her whole entire body, causing her to have pain, joint swelling, digestion issues, you name it. Her body is almost like she's allergic to sugar, but she's addicted to sugar because sugar tastes good. Um, and so learning, Rachel, let me know if I got that close to where where we're going with this. So we have to become aware of that underlying story or that underlying belief. And so she said 100%. Okay, so close enough to 100%, she says. So we have to figure out what that underlying story is. What is it that you're believing that creates that cycle where you want to eat the sugar, or something that is creating a cycle where you actually believe that you're sick? And this doesn't mean that you don't actually have something wrong with you. Please don't jump on me about this. The same thing happens with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and a lot of the other diseases. They are physical symptoms. I know that you're having them, but there is a mental emotional connection to that. And delving into where that mental emotional connection has come from is to get to the core of the problem. And it's really difficult sometimes to do that, but it is possible. I have seen it happen. I have seen it happen with my clients, that they've finally been able to figure out that they didn't believe that they were worthy of being happy. They were told that they were a sick child, and you're sick all the time as a child, and that, well, you're just always sick and there's just always something wrong with you. Or the only time they were ever given attention growing up was when they were sick. So their body developed this system of, oh, well, if I get sick, I can get attention. And the only way for me to get attention is to be sick. So they became their illness. They identified with that illness. They identified with being sick. They identified being sick with getting attention and getting the love that they needed or getting the support that they needed. And they didn't feel that they deserved support or deserved to have love unless they were sick and they actually needed the attention. So their body kept making them sick. Do you see the cycle? And then when they're sick, then they don't feel good. So they keep doing things unconsciously to make themselves sick because of mental emotional reasons. And I know this is not everyone. I'm giving a couple of examples of clients that I've worked with where this has been the underlying event for them. So I'm going to go back to the comments for a second. So locally cultivated says, oh, geez, Rachel, me too. Autoimmune disease. A lot of those autoimmune diseases, guys, are what I'm talking about. You're developing them for mental emotional stuff is attached to them. It makes them flare. It makes them activate. Rachel says refined sugar causes inflammation in the soft tissues, which increases the pain throughout your body. Locally cultivated is agreeing with her and saying healing inflammation happens at the cellular level, and healing ourselves happens through validating the healing of our subtle etheric bodies. And we need to be the light to ourselves. That is correct. 100%. Us allowing ourselves to be centered, to feel connected, to be mindful, and feel the energy that's flowing through us all the time, we can open ourselves to healing on that energetic etheric level, which heals our cells, which gets rid of the inflammation. It is possible when you recognize and change those thought patterns. Because your thought patterns are constantly telling yourselves and yourself that limiting belief. It might not be the same as the client I was talking about, that the only way that they could get attention was if they were sick, or the only way they felt loved was, when they were sick. It might not be that same thing, but there's some sort of underlying something that is perpetuating you to be in that state. Rachel says, wow, listening to you, I think I might feel like I don't deserve to be happy and healthy. I'm not even sure where that is coming from. And sometimes it's hard to find out where that's coming from, and that's our next step. So, locally cultivated says subconscious self-sabotage. Absolutely. So that's where our inner child work and our shadow work comes in. Now, I've done inner child work myself. I am not certified or whatever. I've not taken the classes to do inner child work with people. I've done work very similar to that with a bunch of my clients, having experienced it myself. But shadow work is very, very similar and can definitely overlap with that, but it doesn't focus on just that inner child work. So the first step is to become aware of whatever the story or the belief is, to do some soul searching. And when a feeling comes up, say, whoa, why am I thinking that? And then you have to process from the past emotions and do the shadow work and look deep inside and say, okay, where is that coming from? And you have to process those emotions from the original time when it happened. And then process through and work on that deep look inside to see, why is this happening? And if you can't go back to the first time, you can go back to the last time you felt it and the last time you felt it, and work your way back through time until you can find that. And figuring out what is the story that we are telling ourselves that is causing this to happen over and over and over again. So, and then processing and dealing with and looking at and embracing that part of ourselves and fixing it, the shadow work aspect, is the next step. And then you can become aware to create a new reality for yourself, or a new belief for yourself, and become the new you that you want to be. So really is honestly changing that belief system can significantly help you to figure out where things are coming from, and then dealing with it, and then changing the way you believe about it. And really changing the way you believe about it can be a huge step in helping your body to recover. I'm not saying that's going to be a miracle overnight fix. I'm saying it will assist your body to get the mental, emotional, and spiritual side of that healing work done, can assist your body to then start physically healing from whatever that illness is or whatever that thing is. And it doesn't even have to be an illness. Rachel's happened to be an illness. It can be anything. So it can be you are continually dating the wrong guy. You're continually attracted to and dating the wrong guy. Well, you need to look at what belief is underlying that. What do you believe about yourself that allows you to keep being attracted to the person that's not good for you? Like, what limiting belief do you have on you that says that you're not worthy of someone that's not the bad guy, the wrong guy? That sort of thing. Especially if it's the same type of guy, like you keep going for, or girl, you keep going for partners who end up being abusive. They're all nice and sweet in the beginning, and then they end up being abusive, and you keep falling for that same situation over and over again. What happened in your childhood to make you believe that that's the only type of relationship you're worthy of, so that you can fix that, and then you can change your story. You can change your belief and know that you are worth a perfect match, a perfect pairing, however that it goes for you. So it's not just about healing, it's about everything, about all the different things that we keep going on the merry-go-round about. Locally Cultivated said, Rachel, I'm having a similar struggle in recognizing I often repress my grief, anger, and sadness for sake of being afraid that I will make others uncomfortable or frustrated with these heavy emotions. That's one really big way to make yourself sick, is to not let your emotions come out and to hold on to things. She continues, as if I'm only worthy of others' company or companionship if I am projecting my happy and optimistic self. So you're putting on a mask for others and then creating an illness inside of yourself by holding on to all that stuff, not thinking that you're worthy of other people for being just you. And here I am on YouTube, and you have your persona on YouTube, but it's not really a persona. I try to be as true to me as I possibly can. Colds and sniffles and all. That doesn't mean that I don't try to project a positive attitude for all of you guys, but I go through the same struggles that other people go through. I go through the same doubt every time I go to make a video. Not as bad as before when I first started, but every time I go to make a video, oh well, no one's gonna watch it because I'm not picking a good topic, or I don't know if I'm really helping people. There's those little bits of self-doubt that come in, and so I always hope that I'm listening to spirit and that I'm allowing myself to be a channel for whatever the energies and words are that people need to hear, and that I'm able to help even one person, and that's all that matters to me now. But being able to shift from that fear of being afraid came from not being worthy, from that sort of thing. And it doesn't matter as long as I'm letting spirit speak through me, as long as I'm trying to channel whatever experience or information I have to try to help people. That's all that matters. And if you guys watch it, you watch it. And if you get something out of it, I hope you do. And that's kind of how I've gotten myself to be able to just talk in front of the camera and not really worry about it as much anymore. Rachel says, oh, wow, local, that sounds very much like me. Yeah, you guys are very, very similar on your paths that way. Rachel is saying, I really need to knuckle down and stop putting off doing your shadow work meditation. Part of me really wants to do it, but I keep finding reasons to put it off. Well, there's always reasons to put it off because fear and anxiety is overwhelming at times. And the biggest thing that you're probably going to get from starting to do the shadow work meditation is to be able to pull some of that self-worth back and to do that deep dive inside. And those printable sheets that I have in the self-care printables bundle, there's all kinds of stuff about limiting beliefs and being able to say, oh, hey, I have this belief about myself, and then being able to reword that belief into a positive thing, so that you can say, oh, no, I got to come up with something. You can say, we'll bring it back to me. You can say, well, no one's going to watch my videos. Why bother making them anyway? That's a limiting beliefs. And then instead, I can change that around and say, if, I'm making my videos so that I can help one person today, and that's all that matters. So that's turning a limiting belief into a better positive affirmation. Not quite positive affirmation since I said one person, but I help whoever, with my videos, I help whoever needs to hear what I'm going to say. That's a better positive affirmation for that. So those are in those worksheets. I believe that's in the self-care bundle, which means it's in all the bundles, the Witchy bundle, the Healing Path bundle. It should be in all of them. So, locally cultivated is saying it's that subconscious self-sabotage I keep getting in my own way. Exactly. Yep. And I remember, and I still do things like that now. I still don't have all the items up on the website because, I need a break or I need time off. And that's because I did other things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, self-sabotaging. So I do things like that too. But I remember when it was constant. I remember when I was at the place where you guys are at, struggling with that. So it is possible to overcome and to get to a different layer of that same sort of thing. But it doesn't control your life as much. You're not in that same sort of position. And you can learn how to deal with the things much faster as it goes through. So, locally cultivated says, I found a dragonfly at the park yesterday whose wings weren't broken, but mangled to the point where it couldn't fly. Oh no. I brought it home and gave it water and bugs, but it was inevitable that it would die. I felt this tiny little messenger was trying to tell me my emotional constipation is disconnecting me from source. Dragonflies are all about illusion. So that is why I have the dragonfly on transformational healing, because the channel is all about coming back into balance, and all the different classes and videos and products, and whether that be herbal tinctures and herbs or spiritual products to help you to do spells and rituals, or aromatherapy for the mental emotional stuff. It's all about balance. But my tagline for over 20 years has been shed your illusion. So it's helping you to become the real you back in balance. So it's all about the dragonfly. So I'm glad you're listening to his message. And then she says, Dawna, you're a dragonfly goddess. What does dragonfly represent? I guess I didn't even see that part. So I hope that helps you. Let me know if you got that. Very insightful. So yeah, it's all about shedding your illusion and being able to see reality. So different than the owl that helps you to see through deception or see through darkness, see in the dark. It's that iridescence of the dragonfly that helps you to see the truth of what is there, and to be able to shed off those things that are illusionary. So to be able to get rid of the mask. So trying to help you to also shed your mask that you're putting up in front, and just to be and just to experience life, to be present and not be worried about the glamour. And by glamour, I don't mean putting on makeup and this, I mean glamour magic of the mask, and always being happy, and, be honest and be true for who you are. And that will really help with everything. So, but I'm hoping that I was able to help you guys a little. I know that it's just a start. And for any of you that are watching on the replay, feel free to obviously put in comments, put in questions. I always comment back on things. And I do have sessions that I can do via Zoom or Facebook Messenger, that sort of thing. Zoom is easier because I can record it for you, so you can actually have a recording of it, and have appointments set up. So just send me a message if you guys need anything like that. You can find that over in the services section. I have it under back to balance consultations or spirituality consultations. Just depends on how you're looking at it. There's half an hour appointments in there. I think that I'm going to be setting up a thing where you can purchase bulk at once, and that you have one appointment for an hour and one appointment, like one phone check-in for 20 minutes each month for 3 months, for 6 months, that sort of thing, to create a system to help people continually work through things. So looking at that, but trying to make it so that it does work for my time, but it also is affordable for people that really need that sort of contact and need that sort of follow-up. Trying to figure out whether I should create a group so that you guys could have support with each other or not. But I think I want to keep the privacy of letting each person have their own just private sessions and not doing it as a big group, because it's so personal. And then that way, if we need to do healing sessions during that time, or journey work or guided meditations, each person's getting their own sort of very processed healing as they go through the system to try to help you guys get back into balance. So I'm looking at how to evolve that. Distance-wise is a little bit harder than my in-person clients. I already do it already for several of the people that I'm seeing in person. They have homework to do, and then, different classes that they decide to take because of what we're doing, and different healing sessions, that sort of thing. So they're making progress, and I'm seeing them regularly. So it's a little bit more difficult when we do the Zoom stuff because you guys are cross country, or, that sort of thing. But we're working on it. Rachel is saying thank you, and so is Locally Cultivated. So do you guys have any more questions about ways to help you get back into balance, or how to look inside when you're feeling stuck, or about the challenge that's coming up? It's going to start tomorrow morning. Well, it's not going to help if I put it in the comments here. I will put it in the comments of the regular video. I'll put the Transformational Healing Tribe Facebook group in if people want to join that to get in on the challenge and to get some discounts off of products. And I'll also put the website there so that you can see all the different services that are offered for those people that need a little bit more one-on-one help. But there are tons of guided meditations that are here on YouTube. And the shadow work, guided meditation for shadow work that Rachel mentioned at in the middle of our discussion is actually up on the website. It's one of the meditations that is for purchase, so you can find that there at transformationalhealingbydawna.com. And I'm not seeing any more comments from you guys, so I'm going to let you go for the day. And I hope that your allergies are not acting up like mine are. Rachel actually did just comment. She said, I'm going to work on nourishing both my physical and metaphysical soil so that my plants and I grow strong and healthy this year. And she gave us a little bicep emoji. If you guys are watching on the replay, I do always put it on live chat replay. So once YouTube has processed the videos, which sometimes takes several hours for them to do so, you can comment below, but you should also, once it's processed through all of their stuff, after several hours, you should be able to click on the live chat button, and you can actually see and read all the comments while you're watching the video. So it just depends on how quickly after it loads on YouTube you are catching up with the video. So you might be able to see those comments and open that to see those there. But you can always comment below the video, and I will get back to you. Right now, I'm still able to reply to every comment that I see that comes in. And several of the comments on things have created the next topic for our live stream every Sunday at 2. We try to do the spiritual check-in. Occasionally we skip them, like we didn't have one on Easter. If we have a crystal show or an event that we're at, we might not do a live, but I try to put that notification up. Typically, new videos come out on Tuesdays, and Thursday is our Throwback Thursday. This week, we're swapping it so that you guys can learn more about the challenge. You can check out my video from last year on the challenge. That is going to be our throwback on Tuesday this week, and I'll have a new video for you guys about omens on Thursday. So, Locally Cultivated is saying, love ya all. This session was very nurturing and everything. I surely needed this chat. Well, I'm really glad that it helped. See, that's my job, just to try to put things out there, and if they help people, they do. And hopefully always trying to get myself out of the way so that the words that you guys need to hear can just come out without me thinking about them too much. So many blessings to both of you, and many blessings to all of you that have watched this far on a replay. We're over 40 minutes in, so it's quite a long video for a Sunday live chat, but love to you all, and I will see you guys all next Sunday at 2 o'clock. And check out my video on omens when it comes up on Thursday. We'll see you soon. Bye.